insurance, by the way?
No, they didn't have health insurance. We paid our doctor's bills with eggs and chickens, and we delivered eggs in Idaho Falls every Saturday. And then when we raised the spring chickens, we killed most of those, and they were also given to the doctors and dentists. That's how we paid our bills, was through the barter system.
I suppose that didn't cost a lot then for medical care.
Oh, I don't know how they kept track of it. I don't know if the doctors got everything they should have gotten. I assume so, but I don't know. I'm sure my dad would have been honest with them. He would have made sure they got what they earned. So we did it for years. And it got so the car smelled. It smelled of eggs and spilled milk all the time. I didn't like it very well.
An appendix could easily cost $20,000 now.
Oh yeah, well I'm sure it didn't then. But staying in the hospital for 10 days was probably expensive.
Yeah, I have those babies. That was a...
Yeah.
So, you know, they had to pay back and they had to plan ahead and save everything they could so that those things arise and they could deal with it. Tell me about going to school in Iona.
Going to school in Iona was, we just had one school, and when I first started, I went to first grade. We didn't have kindergarten. And the high school was in the same location, but there were very few students in the high school. So I started in first grade. My cousin was my teacher, I think, in third grade. I can't remember for sure. I liked school, and I think I did well. I was good at math then, which was quite amazing because I couldn't do it later. But for the timed tests, I was usually #1 in our timed tests, you know, for multiplication and subtraction and that kind of thing. So I was usually the first one done. And we just, you know, it was just regular. We'd run out and play. Our school had a slide and swings, and it had like a merry-go-round thing, but they had 2 things that you grasped, and then you'd run around in a circle, went around in a circle, and you'd swing out and come back. It was kind of hard, actually, but it was kind of fun, too. So that's what we played on in recess, and then when I got older, we played softball during the recess and noon hour and lunch hour. And when I was in 7th grade, all the little schools around, all the little towns got together, and they made one high school, which they named after the County Bonneville School District. And so they had a junior high then and a high school. But since we were in Iona, we didn't go to the junior high till 9th grade. So I was in Iona through 8th grade. Then I went to Yukon for 9th grade, and then over to Ammon for high school, sophomore through senior, and seminary. So, but it was much better because it made us able to go to college, because with the high school so small, you couldn't, you didn't have enough classes or enough choices to make to be able to get into university. So, and my sister she rode to Idaho Falls. There was a man in Iona that taught high school in Idaho Falls, and so she and my cousin rode with him to high school so they could get into university. By the time I got up there, it was college, so, I mean, it was the combined high school. So it was Bonneville. We were green and white, and we were bees. I don't know where we came up with bees, but Bonneville, Bonneville. That was our big cheer.
I've been to that high school, or at least the current one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in Ammon now. It's on Iona Road, the junior high and the high school. And you rode buses. We caught a bus to Tullivar Street and rode in. When you get to that central street, if you were going to Yukon, you had to get off the bus and then go over to the bus that was going to Yukon, Or if you're going to Ammon, you had to get off your bus and go to Ammon on another bus. So.
Well, one of my roommates was from Sugar City, and I went home with him one weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and his little brother's basketball team was playing in
Oh.
Bonneville.
Yeah, basketball is really big there. It's really big. And my brother still goes to the high school basketball games today. That's big entertainment there.
Do you have a favorite teacher you remember from school?
No, I don't remember having a favorite teacher, except in 7th grade we had a man whose name was Mr. Howell. And he was really nice. But you could get him talking about his childhood, and he would go on for a half an hour, 45 minutes about his childhood experiences, and then you'd miss your other classwork. But at Christmas time, he drew my name, and he gave me a little jewelry box, which I still have today. That's a nice little box that reminds me of him every time I see him. He was a nice guy. Yeah.
Well, that's a good memory of a favorite teacher there.
Yeah.
What were your biggest motivations
To do what?
to do schoolwork?
I liked schoolwork. I didn't have any trouble keeping up. I loved to read and I liked to study. I wasn't always the best student, partly due to lack of confidence, but I enjoyed learning. That was a great deal to me, was learning.
I remember you telling me before about the girls in your family usually make all the dresses that you made, that you wore?
No, we would buy some occasionally, but when I was in high school, I made a lot of mine. I would ask my mother for some money. When we would go to Idaho Falls, I'd say, "Can I have a new dress?" And she would get $5 from Dad, and I could buy material and make a dress for $5.
How much fabric is that? A couple yards?
Yeah, 3, depended on, if you had a full skirt or not, it took more. But I still made some of my clothes in college, too.
Maybe it was you or not you, but somewhere I remember hearing a story that it was an extravagant splurge to have poofy shoulders on their dresses, and that was, they're considered that a waste of fabric.
Oh, that wasn't me. Well, I didn't like poofy shoulders anyways, but that wasn't the style when I was.
Ruffles,
Yeah.
Right?